touchdown. Chrebet, the rookie from Boomer. He grew up in Garfield, New Jersey, 10 minutes from Giant Stadium.
But short of a first down, Chrebet was able to work free. What a move by Wayne Chrebet.
Absolutely unbelievable. You're talking about a kid who is just all heart.
Welcome to the Underdog Jets Podcast with Wayne Chrebet and Robbie Sabo. That's right, Jets fans. The Underdog Jets Podcast is back after a little hibernation. And this time, it's presented by Jets X Factor. We want to thank Believe, but Wayne Chrebet and myself are back. Excited to be with Jets X Factor. And, hey, it's going to be Jets. It's going to be a little fantasy. Whatever we want to discuss. And I know there's plenty to discuss based on what the Jets did yesterday, Sunday in Houston. They came away with a win, which allows everyone to breathe a little bit. And Wayne, what did you think about that game?
It was enjoyable to watch, I tell you that. Just to have a win like that and have the defense play like that. It was kind of a complete game. Defense made plays when they needed to, and I think they did a great coaching job. And some of these guys, that they drafted are starting to step up a lot. So it's exciting times for the Jets.
Yeah, and Wilson struggled a little bit. It's to be expected. He missed 4 games, right? Pretty much five because he exited early in New England when he hurt his knee. So he was rusty early on. And, the Twitter, Jets Twitter is not for the faint of heart. The opinions that go on Jets Twitter are nuts. A lot of fans were disappointed, and I could understand why. But, hey, he's a rookie. He was struggling before he exited. And it's not as if he did everything terribly. I mean, he started off bad, but coming out in the third quarter, I think there was a stretch where he hit 7 of 9 guys. They kind of adjusted, went to 1 or 2 man routes, hit Elijah Moore on that 15, 20 yard. I forget what route it was, but maybe an in cut or a curl. And even the game winning touchdown, Saleh said it today. I thought it was a read option, right, but Wilson actually pulled it himself and improvised. Saleh told us today. So the fact that he did that and had the confidence to do that is a pretty good sign.
Yeah. I know, what you told me we're going to talk about today about Zach being in his own head. At least we're not saying he's over his head, because he's certainly not. He's in his own head a little bit, but that'll come. That'll come with the getting experience out there. But, he made the plays when he needed to. And like you said, with 2 receiver routes, there's less options, be more certain about where he wants to go with the reads from the defense. So, they're kind of minimizing the playbook a little bit, but he's making it work.
Let me ask you, because you're an athlete at the highest level. Wilson, he's never been an inaccurate quarterback. Even at BYU in August, even week 1 in Carolina, he was never really inaccurate. So the idea that he's missing these guys short, not putting touch on the ball, I feel like his mind is moving 100, miles a minute, and he is in his own head, like I said. Do you see that, number one? And number two, if you do see that, what can an athlete do to get out of that so he's not thinking and he's just reacting?
Like I said, just comes with time and repetition, doing over and over again. He's still going to see defense he's never seen before. They're going to throw everything at him, blitzes and man-to-man coverages. So like I said, it takes time, but, for being out for 4 or 5 weeks, I think he handled it pretty well.
Yeah, he missed short guys really short at times, but it wasn't all bad. And it improved as the game went along. And I think that was the big thing too. The interception was unfortunate. He tried to hit Ty Johnson. When you look at the play again, Ty Johnson was looking at the play. Right when Zach was about to flip the ball, it was just one of those miscommunication plays. Right.
He's just trying to make something out of nothing. He'll learn to just run it and slide. But, if he makes the play, he looks like a hero. That's just what it is. He's not afraid to take chances. And most quarterbacks, if you look at over the recent history, the ones who take chances are usually successful in the long run. So like I said, he's learning. He tried to make it happen. It didn't work out, but I still think he had a pretty good day.
Yeah, it's the thing. You can't become great if you don't take chances.
No.
But then you can't improve if you don't take chances either. So you have to do it and take the lumps. I think that's too true. You got to take chances. You can't be trigger shy, because if you're trigger shy, you'll never improve. But this game was interesting. They got off to a bad start, down 14-3 early. And then they went on that drive in which the unknown Austin Walter, did you see this kid, this running back who played in his hometown? I think his hometown is Crosby, Texas.
Right.
And he had a lot of family at the game. He pretty much popped out of nowhere, went for 38 yards on 9 carries, scored his first touchdown. He told the media that his mom, mother's intuition, she said to him before the game that he would score his first touchdown near his hometown, and it came to fruition. So they made it a 14-11 game. And then the defense just held strong from there. Bryce Hall didn't have the greatest game, but he's still their strongest DB, and he's been playing very well this year. The defense held strong, and Zach Wilson got that game-winning touchdown. Any call-outs from this one, from your point of view, while you were watching it? Elijah Moore, Walter, the surprise, anything else?
Yeah, Walter, as far as him scoring his first touchdown, they brought him up from the practice squad earlier, right?
Yes.
And it's a thing where, Coach Sala did a good thing to give him a chance. I think he played at Rice, right? Played at Rice. He's got his family there. They're all coming to see him. I know it was short notice. And to give the kid a chance to do that, obviously he has to, to do it. If he didn't, it is what it is. They don't expect anything. But, for him to score his first touchdown in front of his whole family, that's the stories you love to hear. Even when Zach wants to do well in the draft picks, when you hear a story about that, about a kid like that working hard and doing everything he can to have some success in front of his family is a really nice thing to hear. As far as everything else, like I said, it's the draft picks that are starting to come on. I mean, Elijah's doing great. Vera Tucker is smooth. Michael Carter just got hurt. The DB Michael Carter, he's doing well, and I would say Joe Douglas did a pretty good job. I mean, like I said, Zach's going to be, he's going to live and die with Zach because it was the number 2 pick. But for the most part, I think he's doing a great job.
Yeah, I mean, this rookie class has been nothing short of tremendous so far. I mean, right. Zach Wilson, number 2 pick. AVT, they trade up for him at number 13. I think he's a future all-pro guard. I mean, there's no question about it in my mind. And then Elijah Moore, he's the perfect weapon. We talked about it in the summer. You mentioned it. He's the perfect weapon for today's league. You don't have to be that Megatron, high point, 6'5" guy on the sideline. You could take jet motions like he did on that big, was it a 4th down late? It was either the 3rd or 4th down late where he took the jet motion and got the first down. And LaFleur's using him in a lot of different ways, which is huge, right?
I think when we were at camp, me and you talked, you can see it. You could see the talent there in flashes. He just took some time to adjust. And I think once Mike White came in, for some reason, it kind of kickstarted him, got him more involved, and it just kind of carried over to Zach. So hopefully they can continue to have that rapport.
Yeah, how about that, Mike White? Let's back it up for a little bit. What did you think about Mike White and his day at Cincy? And then Indy, that was a really depressing night for Jets fans when he went out after that second drive, because he looked good on that second drive, even despite the first drive where it was a near interception. Right. He threw a tough one over the middle, I believe, if I remember correctly. It was a great story, a tough one against Buffalo. I didn't think the first half was as bad as people think, though. There really wasn't anything downfield. The second half was pretty bad. What'd you think of Mike White?
I think he did a great job. Obviously, he's not the future. I know, after 1 week, everybody's like, Zach who? And I was like, you can't, Zach Wilson is the number 2 pick in the draft. He's going to get every opportunity to succeed, and they gave Mike chances. So it's nice to know you have a backup like him that got some experience now that can come in if need be. But Zach Wilson is the starting quarterback in the New York Jets, and he will be for a while.
Yeah, it was a nice story. At the very least, he proved some value in terms of maybe he could be a nice backup quarterback. And I think that's a very good thing moving forward.
And another thing is, the more time he got more film. you never know what kind of draft equity you can get with him if somebody wants to come in a trade for him or whatever it may be.
Right. One game is everything in the NFL. It's huge. So, one stellar game, other teams could see that guy and say, hey, we can make this
It's
guy
happened
something.
Before. It's happened before. Yeah.
Scott Mitchell, I remember Detroit to Miami. There's been a lot of guys where it's worked out, where it hasn't worked out.
Yeah.
So we'll see with Mike White. Elijah Moore, like you said, he's been on a great stretch. He pretty much does everything, and I don't anticipate that slowing down. Defensively, John Franklin Myers, what did you think of the big man rumbling down the field? And I'll get some of the quotes while you're talking, but he kind of veered to the sideline there a little bit, and Mekhi Becton was roasting him on social media about it.
Yeah, he was rumbling. I love to see when the big men get a chance to get the ball in their hands because they're not used to it, so you don't know what's going to happen. Sometimes they're breaking tackles, sometimes they're going fast and all of a sudden it just hits them what they're doing. Like you said, he started veering towards the sideline. I think he was going to run out of room, but, I don't know if he would have broken that first tackle, he might have went the distance, but you got to feel great for the guy. He got a new contract. He played well last year. He's playing great this year, leading the defense. So he got everything he deserved in that new contract, and he's showing that.
What's interesting is, after the game, Jets made him available, and he was sort of, making fun of himself. He didn't want to get caught from behind. He just came back from an injury too. So the injury was kind of in his mind, and he was just laughing and said he didn't want anyone to catch him. He didn't want to fumble. He just wanted to, you give it to the offense. The turnover, keeping the ball is the most important thing. But I'll tell you what, he was going straight and then suddenly went 45-degree angle, like towards the sideline. If you're in that locker room, there's no way you can't hammer him a little bit. Right.
Yeah. It was odd, but like you said, these guys aren't used to having the ball in their hands. They're just so excited to have it in their hands. They maybe try to do too much, but it was a hell of a play, getting the tip, and the catch was hard too.
Yeah.
It was a great catch, and I'm happy for the guy.
Yeah. He's a good individual. That's for sure. So Jets snap a 3-game losing streak. It's going to be Philly this week. The one franchise, the one team the Jets have never beaten, which is interesting. You only play them, used to be once every 3 years. Now with the 8 divisions, it's once every 4 years. Now with the 17 games, though, it could be more than that.
Right.
Trying to remember, do any Jets Philly matchups come to mind during your playing days or no?
No, we know the games we played in preseason was always the last one.
Yeah. And
these starters never played. But nothing kind of stands out. But, everything I've read today, has the Eagles winning, and obviously that's how it is. But, they didn't look too good, versus the Giants yesterday.
Yeah, Giants beat them, 13-7, I believe?
Yeah, if they could slow down, Jalen Hurts, they got a chance. Easier said than done. But, he's got some weapons. But certainly, Giants stopped them, so maybe we can too.
Yeah, the D-line's playing well again. I mean, Houston's offensive line leaves a lot to be desired, but, the Eagles came in during scrimmages in August too, so maybe that could help. I know Bryce Hall was talking about matching up against Devontae Smith, and that's one thing too we could talk about. Bryce Hall, prior to 2 games ago, they would line him up at left corner no matter what. So he'd be the left corner, there'd be another right corner, Eccles or whoever else. Over the last 2 games, Hall started to travel and shadow receivers and follow receivers. He takes it as a compliment, as a big deal that he takes seriously. One, have you noticed that with Hall and these Jets young corners? Do you think it's the right move if there's a stud 1A receiver on the other side?
I wasn't aware that he was traveling.
Yeah, he just started the past 2 games.
Yeah. He's showing he solidified himself as the top corner. And then not everybody could do that. Sometimes guys, whether they're all pro or not, can only play one side. So that he could do that certainly makes him more valuable and gives the defense, when you can leave him over there, play man and play zone on the other side and kind of shut that one guy down, definitely adds to the success of the defense.
Yeah, and because you played mainly slot after the first few seasons, you pretty much saw the same guy every time, each play in the slot, the nickelback, the slot corner. But I agree. Letting him follow and travel when it makes sense, I think is the right move. And I think Saleh and Ulbrich are adjusting there.
Yeah. Like you said, as far as the slot, those outside corners don't want to come in the slot. It's a whole different story. But if they go back and forth like that, the best guys will take on that challenge. They want that challenge of covering the alpha male, alpha dog, number one receiver on the team. If you shut him down, you got a chance. So
how was the Chrebet Thanksgiving last week?
Quiet. You know what I mean? Yeah. Small family get together. But on to Christmas now, looking forward to it. But how was yours?
It was good. And, the Cowboys lost. I'm not a Cowboys hater, but I do have family members who are diehard Cowboys fans. So when they lose, especially on Thanksgiving in agonizing fashion, it's nice to tweak them a little bit.
Right.
So I enjoyed that. But other than that, my fantasy teams were terrible this weekend. I did nothing. I thought I had a good team coming out this past Sunday and just did nothing. Najee Harris did nothing. I took Elijah Moore too, because he's been hot, counting on the Jets offense. And the Jets offense, they've been tremendous over the last, I don't know how many weeks it's been, 5 or 6, but I forgot what the stat was. They've had the most offensive yards in the league for 5 or 6 weeks. I can't remember when the starting point was. So I felt good with Elijah Moore. It just didn't happen for me this weekend. How'd you do?
It wasn't great. Like you said, some of the big names, the highly owned guys, kind of laid a bad one, and it's expected sometimes. And then you guys, pop off, and guys you wouldn't expect, what did Fournette go for 4 touchdowns?
Yeah.
And then the week before, Jonathan Taylor goes for 5, which it's an oddity. So if you didn't have them was in your lineup, you didn't stand a chance to cash.
Yeah, Taylor had like 55 points or something like that, 53 points. It was outrageous.
Mixon had like 40. So, I mean, if you don't have those guys, you don't have a chance.
Yeah, and in the world of baseball, the Yankees aren't doing anything. Mets are going nuts, huh? They got Scherzer. They signed Scherzer. They signed a couple of other guys.
Escobar, Marte. I think they signed. Yeah.
Yep, Escobar, Marte. So, Steve Cohen going nuts with the pocketbook. What do you think about that?
Yeah. I listen to talk radio all the time, sports talk radio. So I hear a lot of the opinions and a lot of the fans. And what is this guy going to do with all this money he has? Is he going to spend it? And now all of a sudden this is our guy. This is what we've been waiting for. Someone to open up their wallet. And the guys they're getting are, impact players. So, I'm both a Yankee and a Met fan, but, Mets are doing a lot right now.
So we'll see how it unfolds. It was interesting. They did it on Black Friday too. The Mets spending spree just happened to fall on that one day.
Yeah. But, so, they're trying to, compete with the guys across town to see who's the best in New York. Hopefully they can meet in the World Series one of these years. And if they keep adding these players like they are, you never know what it could be this year or not.
That's right. So Jets now 3-8. Any thoughts, overarching thoughts in terms of what they may be able to do the rest of the way? Their schedule is not that rough. I mean, they have an easy schedule. So the good news is I think the fans are off the tanking idea. Last year was the exact opposite. They wanted that number 1 pick. They wanted Trevor Lawrence. This year it's different. They just want wins, and it doesn't matter where they pick. And I think that's a good place to be. And I do think they could kind of make a mini run as long as LaFleur and Zach Wilson figure it out together offensively.
Yeah, that's the thing. Last year, like you said, when they won late in the year, Jets fans were disappointed. And they said, well, wouldn't they want to get the number 1 pick? I'm like, if those guys lose, they're not going to be there to play with the number 1 pick. And now they're kind of in limbo. Might not make the playoffs. They're definitely not getting a top 5 pick, top 3 pick, whatever it is. So now he can worry about just getting better, getting experience with the young guys, getting used to everybody, getting everybody a chance to play. So it's a lot less stressful. Just take it as it comes, hope for some good wins that they've had like this year, and just enjoy it. And just, don't expect a lot and you won't be let down.
Yeah, and we can't stress to you how young this team actually is, and
They're
not
the
just
youngest, right?
Yeah, and not just terms of age, and not just in terms of age either. It's young from a lot of perspectives, like program building, age, of course, but coaching too. First year offensive coordinator, first year head coach. Joe Douglas, this is his second. He only went through 2 drafts as a GM.
Right.
So
and they were worried that he didn't bring in veterans, and he got rid of some of the veterans, and especially in the secondary. And I think people realize now, hey, it was the right move. They saved a lot of money. They could have brought in older vets, but you don't need that. Let these guys get their own experience.
He got hammered for not bringing in a veteran backup quarterback. Mike White comes out of nowhere. Got hammered for not bringing in a veteran corner. And while they've, they haven't been tremendous, but they've been a really nice surprise. Michael Carter II can play in the slot. Bryce Hall could play. Eccles could play. The injuries have been overwhelming. I mean, you lose Marcus May, Joyner, both starting safeties, Curry and Lawson, both starting edges pretty much. I mean, Curry, they'd rotate on that side. Jared Davis was out for a while. It's going to hurt. And being a young team, being a young coaching staff, there's going to be issues.
Yeah. But think about who they brought in. They got Brian Quinnen's brother. Was it Quincy?
Yep, Quincy.
Look at this guy. He's like getting shot out of a cannon on these blitzes, getting to the quarterback. No one expected that.
No.
I mean, that's great stuff, man. These guys are making plays. Like I said, when Lawson got hurt, I was like, that's a tough one. I know he was a highly regarded free agent, but I mean, I saw him in camp. I mean, he was giving it Becton fits over there, and Becton hasn't played. So, it's part of the game having injuries, next man up kind of like mentality, but these young guys have stepped up.
Yeah. And when you're a young program, you just can't sustain those injuries. If you've been around for a while and you're a veteran group and you're a veteran coaching staff and your program's towards the winning stage, you can. So that's the main issue. Are there times when I'm worried about the coaching, especially defensively, because some kids aren't focusing in on their specific read? Sometimes I get worried, but I understand it's an inexperienced thing. They're trying to do too much. They're trying to, it's hero ball. It's not one man focusing on the situation. If they harp on that and figure it out with Zach Wilson, they could really get rolling. Yeah.
Like I said, that's what this year is about, getting experience. It's a rebuilding process, but they'll be okay. Sooner than late. I tell people, have some faith. It's going to get better. And I think they've taken the right steps to doing that.
All right, Wayne. And for those Jets fans out there, Jets X Factor fans, we'll be doing this regularly. We're going to have some announcements for you as well with getting Wayne involved with the fans. So stay tuned with that. And we'll get a more, or we'll announce a more consistent schedule when the time comes. But main thing was we wanted to get this first episode up after the win and then take it from there.
Sounds good, man. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, Wayne, any final thoughts before we bid farewell?
No, enjoy the win. Enjoy the week. Who knows what's going to happen next week. But like you said, got a little flicker of hope in what we saw this past week. So hopefully more of that to come.
That's right. Everyone could just take it. It's a small step forward, but everyone could take a deep breath and say, okay, we can win games. And I think that's
the Giants lost.
And the Giants lost, exactly.
That's always a good week.
Yes, and the Giants lost. And the Cowboys in agonizing fashion, too.
Right.
So, all right, Wayne, Jets fans, this is the Underdog Jets Podcast, and we'll see you next time.
All right.